Andy and Sophia had been together for 10 years. The perfect couple, at least on the surface. But behind closed doors, a secret was lurking, one Andy never saw coming. Lately, Sophia had been acting differently, constantly checking her phone, staying late at work, and seeming distant. At first, Andy refused to believe anything was wrong. But when he found an unfamiliar men's watch on their bed one evening, doubt began to creep into his mind. Determined to uncover the truth, he set up hidden cameras around their house and waited. Days passed with nothing unusual, until one night, he received a notification on his phone. The notification showed movement in their bedroom, while Andy was supposed to be at work. His hands trembled as he opened the live feed. What he saw made his heart drop. There was Sophia, laughing, her arms wrapped around another man. It wasn't just any man, it was his best friend, Ryan. The betrayal cut deeper than he ever imagined. For a moment, he just stared, unable to process the scene unfolding before him. Then, rage took over. He rushed home, heart pounding, mind racing. As he burst through the door, Sophia and Ryan froze, guilt flashing across their faces. "You were supposed to be my best friend," Andy growled, fists clenched. Ryan stepped back, searching for words, but nothing could justify the knife he had driven into Andy's back. Sophia opened her mouth to speak, but Andy had already made up his mind. Without a word, he turned, grabbed his keys, and walked out the door, leaving behind a house filled with broken promises and shattered trust. That night, Andy didn't sleep. The pain was unbearable, but he knew one thing: this was the beginning of a new chapter. One where he would never allow betrayal to blindside him again. Weeks passed, but the sting of betrayal still burned in Andy's chest. He blocked Sophia and Ryan from his life, refusing to answer their desperate calls and messages. The memories of what he had seen haunted him, but he was determined to rise above the pain. One evening, as he sat alone in a quiet cafe, a woman approached him with a gentle smile. "You look like someone who's been through hell," she said, sitting across from him. Andy chuckled bitterly. "You have no idea." Her name was Emily, and she had been through her own heartbreak. They talked for hours, sharing stories of love, loss, and resilience. For the first time in weeks, Andy felt something shift inside him, a spark of hope. Months later, as he looked into Emily's eyes, he realized something. Sophia and Ryan's betrayal had broken him, but it had also set him free. Free to find someone who truly valued him. Free to build something real. And as he took Emily's hand, he knew his past no longer defined him. His future was just beginning. Years passed, and Andy's life took a turn he never expected. He built a successful business, traveled the world, and found a version of himself that was stronger and wiser. The pain of Sophia's betrayal became nothing more than a distant memory, until one day, fate intervened. He was walking through a bustling city street when he heard a familiar voice. Turning around, he saw Sophia standing there, her once bright eyes filled with regret. "Andy," she whispered. He simply smiled, a calmness settling over him. "Sophia." She hesitated. "I made a mistake." Andy gently shook his head. "No, you made a choice. And so did I." With that, he walked away, leaving her in the past where she belonged. That night, he returned home to Emily, the woman who had shown him what true love and loyalty meant. As she greeted him with a warm embrace, he knew he had won. Not through revenge, not through anger, but by finding something far greater. Peace. Andy walked away from Sophia, a strange sense of relief washed over him. He had spent so long carrying the weight of her betrayal, but now, standing in front of her after all these years, he felt nothing. No anger. No sadness. Just freedom. Sophia called out, her voice trembling. "Andy, please? Can we talk?" He paused for a moment, then turned his head slightly. "There's nothing left to say, Sophia. You made your choice, and I made mine." Tears welled up in her eyes as she watched him disappear into the crowd. For the first time, she realized she had lost him forever. Andy, however, had already moved on. That night, as he sat on his balcony, overlooking the city skyline, Emily wrapped her arms around him. "Everything okay?" she asked softly. Andy smiled, pressing a gentle kiss to her forehead. "Yeah. Everything's perfect." He had found love again. A love that was real, loyal, and pure. And as he held Emily close, he knew this was the ending he truly deserved.